Today, Jay Schrader will watch his former team while Steve Berline makes his first start this season. Bo's back balancing the offense, complementing the dynamic receiving tandem of Mervin Fernandez and Willie Gault. While the veterans try to recapture Old Glory, a new spirit is alive in Los Angeles. Good afternoon and welcome to the Los Angeles Coliseum for today's game between the Washington Redskins and the Los Angeles Raiders. The Redskins arrived here in Southern California late yesterday afternoon talking about how important this game is. And as you look at the standings in the NFC East, Washington is at 4-3, but having lost twice to the Giants and once to Philadelphia. In the AFC West, the Raiders are 3 games behind Denver, but they've won 2 of their 3 games under new head coach Art Shell. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt, and welcome to Los Angeles. Week 8 here on CBS as we reach the halfway mark of the NFL season. The Washington Redskins come in here rather banged up. Darrell Green had his wrist surgically repaired this past week, and now we get word that Gerald Riggs, his ankles have not really responded to treatment this week. And as we turn to Dan Jiggets, Dan, will he play or will he not play?
He may get in some playing time, Tim. I saw him down on the field earlier, and he was running some routes and didn't look too bad, but I think really Joe Gibbs wants to hold him out because he didn't get in any practice. What that means now for the Redskins is Jamie Morris and Ernest Byner are going to have to pick up the slack. Mark Rippon, expect to see him throwing a lot of crossing patterns to his wide receivers because the Raiders play so much man-to-man defense.
Talking about the passing game, Steve Berline will start in place of Jay Schrader, much to the dismay of many of the Redskin players.
Well, I know a couple of them have mentioned that they really want to get one more shot at Jay, Dexter Manley in particular. But, you know, when you think about Steve Berline starting at the quarterback position for the Raiders, you start thinking about them going back to the vertical game again, throwing deep. And that means that it's really going to test that secondary of the Washington Redskins. Now, of course, Art Shell, the head coach of the Raiders, told us something the other day. Going back to those old Raider ways, he says, now we have to respect our opponents, but we can't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid to win.
All right, Dan, the weather is sensational. Temperatures expected to be in the 80s. That could be a factor late in this ball game because the breeze is almost non-existent. We are expecting some Santa Ana winds to blow through here later today, but if it stays balmy, that could be a factor late in the game.
I hope those winds hurry up and get here.
Believe it or not, the Redskins are making their first LA Coliseum appearance in 15 seasons when they lost to the Rams in the 74 divisional playoffs. As you look at Jeff Jager, he'll be kicking off for the Raiders, and deep for Washington will be number 80, Joe Howard, and 47, A.J. Johnson. So Howard and Johnson will be standing at the goal line. Johnson's averaging 23 yards per return, 5th in the NFC. Howard is also dangerous, and we're underway. It'll be Johnson deep in the end zone, and there will be no return touchback, so the Redskins will take over at the 20-yard line. So Mark Rippon comes on for the Washington offense and the rest of that talent that he'll be huddling up with on this very first series. Big, strong offensive line. It's the veteran line that's been there for so long they call them the Hogs. Jamie Morris in the backfield, not Gerald Riggs. Riggs' ankles are still bothering him. Byner now goes and loads up in the eye with Morris on first down. Morris off the right side. Finds a hole and gets about 5. Tackle was made by Lionel Washington. We'll show you that offensive lineup now for the Redskins. This is who they start. Lachey, Grimm, Bostic, Big Mark May, who's playing with a broken wrist, and Jake, Joe Jacoby. The tight end, of course, is Don Warren. And in the backfield, it is Jamie Morris. The wideouts, Monk and Sanders, along with Gary Clark. Most productive wide receiver trio in the league. Second down and 5. Byner has absolutely nowhere to go. Howie Long, the 9-year veteran, takes him down almost immediately. Defensively, Howie Long is back. This is his second start after injuries. Bob Golick, the longtime veteran out of Notre Dame, in the middle, and Scott Davis up front. The linebackers, King. Robinson is back after a long absence from injury. Benson, the leading tackler, and Greg Townsend. And the secondary, Haynes starts in place of Terry McDaniel, who's banged up. Washington, Anderson, and Harden. Passing downs, Carter and Lee will come in. With a loss of 2 on that last play. 3rd and 7 on the 23. Rippon's first pass of the game. Incomplete. Not even close. Thrown the direction of Ricky Sanders.
It appeared that Ricky Sanders wanted to cut in, and of course Mark Rippon wanted to throw out. Again, it's a problem sometimes with the reads. Are you getting man? Are you getting the kind of coverage that the quarterback thinks you're getting and the same kind of the receiver's getting? They have to get on the same page.
So Moshenko comes on to kick for Washington. Bobby Joe Edmonds will be the deep man for the Raiders, and you see the numbers on Moshenko this year. Edmonds standing at his own 30. This is a rejuvenated Los Angeles team, no question about that. Edmonds at the 38, out to the 45, and that's where the Raiders will have it. So LA starts with excellent field position. The tackle was made by Herb Welch, who was just acquired by the Redskins.
Really was a very poor kick by Moshenko. I know he just didn't get it up in the air very well, and as a result, it kind of hit short, 39 yards.
39-yard punt, 5-yard return.
That means maybe he should have thrown on 4th down.
Holding, number 44 by the receivers, 10 yards, first down.
Red Cashin is the referee today, very emphatic with that call, so they move the Raiders back. And they will not start Dan with that excellent field position. Penalty was on Stephon Adams. So Berline comes on.
Tim, when you make those kinds of penalties and you take your team out of real good field position, when you come off to the sideline, you avoid the head coach. You go to the far side of the bench and try to get away from all of the coaching staff. You don't want to see him there.
Sound like you're doing that from experience. Steve Smith and Bo Jackson as Jackson gets his first start of the 1989 season. First down Raiders. Redskins are coming. Berline's first pass. It's complete. And Fernandez has a first down for the Raiders out to the 38-yard line. The offensive starters, Graves, who has struggled at that left tackle spot. Giesick, Mospar, Wisniewski, the rookie. And he'll be going against the other rookie, Rocker, today. Wilkerson and Mike Dials, the tight end. In the backfield, we mentioned that Bo Jackson gets his first start of the year. He's back there with Steve Smith out of Penn State. Willie Galton, Fernandez are the Flyers outside. Vance Mueller and Tim Ware come in obvious passing situations. First down, Raiders. Jackson goes to a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Berline, backside pressure. Now has plenty of room on that left side. And slides down at the 43-yard line. They'll mark it almost at the 44. Greg Wisniewski will get credit with the tackle. Here's another situation. Olkowitz is out, and Wisniewski comes in. Up front for the Redskins, Manley, Grant, Tracy Rocker will start in place of Cook. Cook is out. He's banged up, and man. Marshall, Wisniewski, and Caldwell are the linebackers, and Monty Coleman has a hamstring injury. Davis, Wilburn, Bowles, and Walton. Wilburn goes at the cornerback spot replacing Green. A.J. Johnson and Martin Mayhew will be the nickel and dime backs. Second down and 4, a long 4. This is Jackson, left side, big hole. First down near midfield. Todd Bowles trips him up there.
Good blocking that time on the left side of that offensive line for the Raiders. And one of the keys is Steve Smith, number 35, the fullback, leading Bo up into the hole. Got a nice block at the point of attack. And that's what really helps your running back get that extra yard or two. You know, when you clean that hole out for him, suddenly he's got that vision, doesn't have to try to cut back, can just get straight up the field and run where the play was designed to go. Interesting note, Dan, Bo Jackson has not rushed for 100 yards in any of the last 14 games he's played. I'm sure the Redskins are going to wish you didn't say that. First down, Raiders at midfield. Here he is. Nice cut to the inside and bangs his way down to the 45. Again, it's Todd Bowles who will get credit for the tackle. One of the things the Raiders are doing fairly successfully with that young offensive line is getting some nice reach blocks. Now watch these guys along the line in the scrimmage, reach out, get their men, and now you see there's nobody really back there to give Bo Jackson any problem in his backfield. Now when he gets through that line of scrimmage, he's still got a little running room in there. But that offensive line is reaching to the side of the play, that is stepping out and going to the side of the play call. Second down and 4 Raiders. Galton, Fernandez are the wideouts. Berline again has plenty of time, throws. Fernandez has it at the 24-yard line.
Excellent catch by Mervin Fernandez.
Mervin Fernandez was getting a great deal of respect from Alvin Walton, number 40. Alvin knows the speed that Mervin Fernandez has. And watch him. He's going to be on the right side of your screen as the play, the left side as the play develops. You're going to see number 86, Mervin Fernandez. He ran down and ran a stop right there, pushed Alvin Walton off. You see Alvin's back about 5 or 6 yards, gave him that respect because he knows that those wide receivers will take it up the distance, take it into the end zone, and score 6 points on you.
A gain of 21. First down, Raiders. Nice play inside to Smith, who carries the ball to the 17-yard line. They faked the pitch to Jackson and gave it straight ahead. Raven Caldwell made the tackle.
Tim, you go back to some of the old things that made Raider teams special, and even with the Washington Redskins, same kind of thing. Running game makes you special. You solidify your running game, and then you go on, and with the passing game, you kind of get things developed there. But with the Raiders, it meant going downfield, going deep, and with a vertical stretch offense.
Second down and 5. Raiders. Excellent drive, led by Berline. Going deep. Touchdown in Los Angeles. It's Mervin Fernandez. Touchdown catch of the year for Fernandez. That's the best in the AFC. Third catch of this drive. That was an 18-yard strike. So Jeff Jager comes on to attempt the extra point. Jeff Gossett, the punter, will hold. It's up and it's good. And Los Angeles strikes quickly.
You know, it doesn't take long for the Raiders to go, when they say they're going to go back to that vertical offense, find those receivers downfield. They got a great deal of speed at the wide receiver position, and they just simply, Mervin Fernandez just simply goes down and beats Barry Wilburn on the corner, just takes it to the post, and 6 points, touchdown. That's the Raider offense. Now watch, right in the middle of your screen is actually where Mervin Fernandez is going to end up. Steve Berline had a problem scoring inside the 20. That was one of the things the Raiders are a little down on him about, but he's really getting it together, and you see right there with the touchdown to Mervin Fernandez. Excellent pass. One of the other reasons why you can be successful on a play such as that one is if your offensive line forms that pocket of protection for the quarterback. Watch the pocket of protection that Steve Berline gets on this play. Offensive line does a great job against that Washington Redskins rush. Charles Mann coming in there trying to get the rip underneath. Nobody's really around the quarterback. No wonder he threw a touchdown pass.
The Raiders had been shut out 6 of the 12 quarters they played under Art Shell, but they strike quickly here. Fernandez with 3 catches. That was a strike. And they were working on that right side where normally Darrell Green would be.
Well, you know they're going to test you. If you're the guy that's replacing Darrell Green, in the case Barry Wilburn, you know they're going to test you a little bit just to see what you're made of. And certainly when you have to face guys like Fernandez or Galt, that's a test in itself anyway, without them throwing the football your way. 7
plays, 73 yards. It took only 3 minutes and 51 seconds. And the 18-yard touchdown pass. So Jeff Jager comes on to kick again. And Joe Howard and A.J. Johnson are deep for Washington. A short kick. It's Johnson. Johnson gets a block and carries tacklers to the 24-yard line, and that's where Washington will start after a 17-yard return. The tackle was made by Ethan Horton. So Rippon comes on for his second series of the afternoon.
I want to pass along happy birthdays to Mark Rippon's young daughter. She was 1 year old a few days ago, Amber. You mentioned that. This is the first thing you mentioned when he met with him. I know he's very excited about having that young daughter.
Hard to believe that's been a year. Got into his new house, got his first start, had his baby Amber all in the same week last year. Play action for Rippon this time. Goes underneath, incomplete. It was intended for his tight end, Don Warren. Jerry Robinson was the linebacker in the area.
Little play action there off the counter tray. They ran the counter tray earlier in the last series and kind of set that up for the play action. Now they came back with it, but Mark Rippon just couldn't find Don Warren downfield. Underthrew him just a little bit.
9 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Raiders. Tim Brand along with Dan Jiggets at the LA Coliseum. It's second down and 10 for Washington. As Redskins go to 4 wide receivers. Rippon is sacked. Big Howie Long came through and got the sack.
Howie Long is over there working against Russ Grimm. Howie's coming back. He said now, he's perfectly healthy. Here he is right here. Watch him on an outside rush. Just comes around the corner and gets Mark Rippon. See that arm of that Rip working against Mark May right there. Later on, he gets in there, and wow, he hits Mark Rippon right in the chest. Now, Howie Long told us the other day, he said he's back to about 90%. Had the calf operated on, and he's trying to come back from that, and certainly it looks like he's doing that.
A loss of 8. It'll be 3rd down and 18. Rippon on the waggle. Looks deep, has pressure again, and it's incomplete. Intended for Art Monk. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Rams in Chicago game. The Bears winning that one 20-10. Here in Los Angeles, it's the Raiders 7 and Washington nothing. Mervin Fernandez with a touchdown catch from Steve Berline, 18 yards, the only score in the ball game. Shenko will be kicking for the 2nd time this afternoon. You saw Bobby Joe Edmonds deep for the Raiders. It's a low tail wagger. Edmonds takes it at the 32 and returns it to the 49-yard line, so it's a 52-yard punt, a return of 16 yards, and the tackle is made by Kurt Gouveia. But again, Dan, the Raiders start with fine field position.
And that's really one of the keys to what you can do offensively now for the Raiders. Suddenly you don't have to worry about, trying to grind the ball out, get it away from your end zone and those kinds of things. You can be a little bit more flexible with your passing game. You can try to go back to that vertical game and maybe try to get another one of those wide receivers, a Galt or a Fernandez, loose in the secondary of the Redskins.
Bo Jackson and Steve Smith in the backfield. It's Berline, the quarterback, on 1st down for the Raiders. Smith straight ahead. And again, he finds some yardage up the middle. Greg Minuski will get credit with that tackle.
Often people will ask, well, why do you run a dive play like that where you're fullback where you gain 2 or 3 yards? Well, some of the things you're doing is you're trying to set up some other things. You want to lead that fullback up in there a couple of times, and then you lead him up in there and hand the ball off to Bo outside or something like that. So you're setting things up, being very careful to structure your offense so that it all comes into play and makes some sense.
Just having Bo Jackson in the backfield and a Willie Galt on the wideout, and the defense automatically has to soften. Berline on 2nd down has it complete. That's Willie Galt. It's another 1st down at the 31-yard line.
Tim, you will see the secondary of the Redskins give the wide receivers from the Raiders a lot of cushion. You have to with this kind of speed. In this case, Brian Davis, number 34, working on the right side of your screen, is going to give Willie Galt about a 10-yard cushion. Galt runs the stop at about 10 yards. You see Davis off again. Now he's got to react back. But that's the way you stop from getting beat deep. And certainly that's got to be the thing that's on the mind of the secondary of the Redskins.
A gain of 15. 1st down Raiders. At the Redskin 32. Smith, big hole to the outside, inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, knocked out by Todd Bowles.
Talked earlier about going to that running game and sending your fullback up inside. Now he comes on back outside. Good blocking to the front side. That is the play call side. And Steve Smith just simply squeezes through it. Now watch the blocking up over here. The tight end from the tackle, from the left tackle. Watch that blocking along the line of scrimmage. See them picking up their guys. Roy Graves there has got a nice block on Dexter Manley, number 72. That allows Steve Smith, number 35, to squeeze it up there. Mervin Fernandez, 86. Wide receiver downfield, throwing a great block.
Fernandez is 6'3", 200, though. He's not afraid to throw his body.
He shouldn't be.
1st down Raiders at the 12. Moving methodically and effectively against Washington. Bo Jackson left side gets a couple.
Talked in the last play about Dexter Manley and how he got handled that time by Roy Graves. That time tried to come inside. Roy just kind of carried him around. He didn't look great on the play, but it was effective still.
The tackle was made by Wilbur Marshall. Bowles and Manley was in there. It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the 8 as you look at Art Shell, now in his 4th game as head coach. Played collegiately at Maryland State, 42 years old, 22 years with the Raiders organization. Has yet to negotiate a new contract. as head coach. He's been too busy trying to revamp things. Fernandez in the corner, touchdown Raiders. Fernandez is having a field day against Washington. His 4th catch, his 2nd touchdown.
You're sitting back there, you're Barry Wilbur, and you know that this wide receiver can go in on you, go out on you. What do? So you play a little soft. You got to remember, though, if the guy gets in the end zone with the football, he scores. That's 6 points. What happens in this case is Barry Wilbur doesn't read that little fade route that you see Fernandez running here. Steve Berline with a nice little touch on the ball, just feathers it in there, and watch the fade here. Just kind of pulls away and goes to the sideline. Now watch the sideline and make sure he gets both feet in. 1-2, he drags that other one in there. 6 points, touchdown Raiders.
If you're still questioning the call, they replayed it, and it stands. Jager to add yet another one. And with 6:19 remaining in the first quarter, it's Raiders 14, Washington nothing.
We'll take another look at that play just at the end to make sure that Mervin Fernandez has both feet in bounds. As he catches the ball, see where those feet are. Here's the ball being delivered. Right there, 1 foot's down, the left foot's down, the right foot is down. No question, a touchdown for the Raiders.
But how do you do? Washington comes in.
Swerving Mervin Fernandez, you know, I asked him for a couple of stories on himself the other day at practice. He says he wants to get a little bit more publicity, Tim. And he said, but unfortunately, I can't tell you any stories that you can tell on TV. I said, Mervin, you got to get some material for us, buddy.
Fernandez has caught a pass in 22 consecutive games now. He has 25 receptions on the year. But the most incredible thing, as you look at his statistics, he averages 22 yards a catch.
Well, I remember when the Raiders were trying to get him out of Canada, and Al Davis told us we're out here for a game, and he told us, he says, I got this guy coming from Canada that you just won't believe. He says, this guy's going to be a great wide receiver for us. Told us about his size and all that. Of course, Mervin grew up out here in the San Jose area, and certainly Al Davis was correct on that guy. I tell you one thing, that you add him and Willie Gault together, it's a scary combination for any defensive secondary.
How about Berline? 5 for 5, 73 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Steve Berline is one of those guys that has never lacked for confidence, and certainly he displayed that to us the other day when we had our conversation with him.
Jager to kick off for the 3rd time. Howard and A.J. Johnson deep again for Washington. This is Joe Howard at the 1. And he's got a hole. Howard across the 30. It's a foot race. So long. Howard will score. 99 yards for Joe Howard.
And the best news is for all those Washington Redskins fans, no flags.
This may be a track meet today.
I tell you one thing, there's a track around here. They ran the Olympics here, and I think these guys might want to get outside and play on that surface outside. You know, when you run that ball back, and everybody says take it up the field, take it straight up the field when you run it back, but that time Howard found a little crease outside, just broke it outside. Great blocking up front. It was designed to go that way, by the way. It took it 99 yards for the touchdown to get his Redskins back in this ball game.
Joe Howard played basketball and football at Notre Dame. Washington High School product from John Carroll High School in the Metro Conference. 99-yard kickoff return. Good look at Chip Lowmiller. You'll be able to see for yourself where that ball comes. And it's good. That's the longest kickoff return in Redskin history. And Washington now trails by 7.
Tim, I remember we talked to this young man in the last game of the preseason down in New Orleans, and he was hoping that he could make an impact on special teams. Now watch him make an impact here for the Redskins. Watch the blocking up front. Right there, key blocks thrown up front, and all of a sudden Joe Howard is in the open. It's a foot race, and nobody's going to beat him to the end zone. I don't think if Willie Gault was out there, he could have caught him.
This will take Edmonds way to the back of the end zone, and he'll down it there for a touchback. So they'll bring it out to the 20. A magnificent cloudless day in Los Angeles. You can even see the hills from where we're sitting today. No, not much smog. Tim Brandt along with Dan Jiggins. And if you're just joining us, you've missed some fireworks. Mervin Fernandez, 2 touchdown catches, and Joe Howard just returned to kick off 99 yards, and it's the Raiders 14, Washington 7, with 5:55 remaining first period. Little extracurricular activity downstairs, pushing and shoving between these two clubs.
That's to be expected.
Well, the Raiders are trying to reinstill that old Raider, what do we call it, enthusiasm?
Nastiness.
I was trying to be kind. Jackson, left side, loses a yard.
Yeah, credit Darryl Grant really with mixing that play up and slamming in. He got Giesick, number 63 for the Raiders, jammed up in the backfield and really disrupted the play and stopped Bo Jackson from advancing downfield.
Darryl Grant having a fine year with Washington, 3.5 sacks, an interception, fumble recovery, forced fumble as you look at Bo Jackson. They call him World. 6'1", 275-pound, 9-year veteran Darryl Grant. Second down and 11 for the Raiders. Burline underneath to his tight end Dial, and Dial is out to the 24-yard line.
You know what I would expect to see a little bit more out of the Redskins defense, Tim, is a few more games up front, some twists, some stunts, not necessarily bringing, you know, blitzing the linebackers and secondary people, but I think mixing it up and twisting on that offensive line of the Raiders, because that Raider line is young. I think you can really scare them with some stunts up front, and I fully expect that that's what's going to happen with the Washington Redskins.
Bo Jackson comes out of the lineup, you see there. Vance Mueller comes in and replaces him. Redskins now go to 6 defensive backs on 3rd down and long. The Raiders need 6. Burline. Miscommunication between Vance Mueller and Steve Burline. You see Wilbur Marshall thought he had a shot at the pass. Wilbur
could taste that one.
Well, Mueller cut in.
Well, a lot of times they call them choice routes. You know, if you read in man, then you break it off inside. Or if you're reading zone, you break it off outside. And that's a case where both the receiver and the quarterback have to read the same thing and be on the same page. Otherwise, you'll have that kind of situation.
Look at Jeff Gossett. That was the first miss for Burline today. 6 for 7 with 2 touchdowns. And Joe Howard still got to be winded after that 99-yard kickoff return. High wobbly punt taken at the 37. Is nailed immediately. Steve Strahan made the tackle, 39-yard punt, 1-yard return. A look at Jerry West enjoying the sunny afternoon here. He's got to be enjoying this with all the jump balls we've seen so far on the timing patterns from Burline.
He might be thinking about signing a few of these players from the Raiders. Have some more Bo Jacksons in the crowd.
Best field position of the day for Washington. Jamie Morris taken down from behind by Howie Long, and the Redskins lose 3 yards.
Tim, when you run that counter tray like Washington loves to run it, of course, everybody in the world knows you're going to run it. Howie Long read it that time. Watch him on the backside of the play. Just come right in, jump right in on that play. Watch number 75, Howie Long, right there. Come right back, trail the play, and make the stop in the backfield of the Washington Redskins. He's seen that play so many times. He goes, hey, look, you're not fooling me with the counter tray. I'm not going to let you block back on me and take me out. I'm just going to follow the guard right down the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 12. Biner now in the backfield. Rippon with time. Goes in the direction of Art Monk, but he got tangled up out there and fell down. There are no flags. He was out there bumping with Haynes. Rippon now 0 for 4.
Mike Haynes is one of those guys that's been around for a long, long time, since 15th season in the National Football League. Didn't know whether or not he might get a start today, but he said, hey, look, at my age, you just come out there, and if they ask you to start, you start. If they tell you you're not going to start, you just go over there and do whatever you can on special teams, and that's asking a lot out of a guy that's been around 15 years.
Starting in place of Terry McDaniel, who has back spasms and may or may not play today. Third down and 12 for Washington. Everybody jumps, and Howie Long comes over to try to get a free shot. We'll wait and see if he was drawn.
We know one thing about Howie. He's always going to point out who drew him off.
Long has played 113 league games as a Raider. That's the most of any Raider.
Look at him. He's trying to talk to the officials.
Start. Number 63 on the offense. Still third down.
See, that's how he's going to find somebody and point him out and tell the refs. That's absolutely what he's going to do.
Raleigh McKenzie, number 63 for the Redskins, is the man who was nabbed.
Howie said he's got a lot of acting offers out here in the Los Angeles area since the Raiders moved down here, and that's one of the things that he may pursue when he's finished playing football. But now he says since Art Shell's a coach here, he was thinking about 2 more years before Art took over, and now he wants to play 4 or 5 as long as he can until they run him off.
Raiders have several thespians.
Yes, they do. Willie
Gault is one, too. Gault's been taking acting lessons. 3rd down and 17 Redskins at the 32. Again, long jumps. And the play's whistled dead.
False start on the right side of the outfit, still 3rd down.
Well, they won't tell you who it is this time, but McKenzie was over there with Lachey.
See, Howie's down there having a conversation now. He's a diplomat. See, after he gets you to rock back a little bit, and then he wants to talk to you and make nice for you. Now, here's another replay of it. Watch the the left side of that offensive line for the Redskins. And I really can't see anybody moving except Howie Long. He looks like the guy that jumped off on that play.
So it'll be 3rd down and 22 at the 27 for Mark Rippon. 6 defensive backs for the Raiders. There's pressure. Rippon throws it underneath, almost intercepted. Eddie Anderson got his hands on it. It was poorly underthrown.
It was poorly underthrown, partly because Howie Long was working on the twist that time and really got in the face of Mark Rippon. Watch Howie Long take his route around this way. You're going to see him twist with Scott Davis coming across here, and as a result, they get right in Mark Rippon's face. There's Howie going along on the twist, comes around. Mark May really can't get him. He's got the bad arm there. That flushes Rippon out of the pocket. Now he has to try to dump it off short.
So Washington's got a punt. Oshanko's punt is a long way. Bobby Joe Edmonds will chase this one all the way back to the goal line. And he'll bring it out. Great punt.
And Bobby Joe Edmonds should have let that punt continue on into the end zone, bring it back out to the 20.
A 73-yard punt by Mochenko. A 17-yard return. 3 minutes, 12 seconds remain. First quarter here at the LA Coliseum. 14-7 Raiders. Bo Jackson continues to boggle the minds of sports fans in America. MVP in the 1989 All-Star Game, and he is the only athlete in the United States today who could end up most valuable player in both baseball and football. It's conceivable.
Certainly is. Bo knows how to do a lot of things, and Bo knows how to play baseball. Bo knows football. Bo also knows how to say no. Yesterday we tried to get him for an interview, and boy, did he do an open field run on us. He broke one way, broke the other way, and took off, so he had to go pick up his kids at the babysitter.
Bo knows. He had a scouting report on us.
Yeah, I don't believe that, no.
Tracy Rocker was a teammate of Bo Jackson's in college at the University of Auburn University. Said he never really lifted weights. He's just naturally strong. First down, LA. Berline's got Manley coming after him, and he drops it to Smith. And Smith is taken down at the 17-yard line. They'll mark it. It's a loss. Tackle was made by Charles Mann.
Tim, you see how well the defense of the Redskins played that screen, though. You saw the tackle from the Raiders drop back and try to cut the defensive end. It took the defensive end about 2 days to get there, and he never really did get there because he read the screen right away. That being Charles Mann fell back off on that. Very nice read that time by the defense of the Redskins on the screen play.
Second down and 11. Berline is 7 for 8 in his first start this season. And he's going to throw again, but he's got backside pressure. Throws almost intercepted by Alvin Walton. It was intended for Fernandez again.
And right now, Alvin Walton is saying to himself, if I had a pair of hands, I would have caught that one, because it hit him in a dangerous spot right in his hands, and he could have taken off and scored with that one.
Walton has 4 interceptions this year, 2nd in the NFC, 3rd in the NFL.
What happens many times, though, is when a receiver crosses in front of you, and then all of a sudden that ball comes right behind him. You don't have enough time to visualize it. Not making an excuse for Alvin Walton, because certainly I'm sure he'll tell you he should have caught the ball as well.
Martin Mayhew comes into the secondary now for Washington as the Redskins go to 6 defensive backs. Clarence Vaughn also in the game. 3rd down and 11. Berline has all day, now has backside pressure, drills it across the middle, and it's caught for a first down. Mike Alexander, his first catch of the afternoon, and a big, big play for L.A.
Mike Alexander did something that's very smart for a young wide receiver to do. Watch him on the right side of your screen. He's going to see his quarterback roll out to that right side, Steve Berline. Got good time, good protection, but Alexander uncovers downfield. Now you see him at the top of your screen go back towards the middle, recognizing that he had no more sideline left to take up, so he just went right back to the middle of the field and got to an open spot, let the ball get squeezed in there.
So the Raiders get 14 yards on that play. It's first down at the 31. Smith, a hard yard. Manuski makes the tackle. Manuski replaced the injured Neil Olkowitz. This is only his third start. Second-year veteran out of Colgate. So it'll be second down and 7 at the 34. Of the wideouts. Berline's had the hot hand. This time it's the pitch back to Jackson. Breaks a couple of tackles out to the 38-yard line. Not enough for the first down. Brought down by Todd Bowles and Kurt Gavea.
Now, one of the things that Bo Jackson will try to do a lot of times on a defense is try to break it back. That is, go back to the other side. When he started to the right, maybe he'll try to break to the left. But in the situation against the Redskins, you know that their defense stays at home on the backside. Here, Bo's just going to take it all the way to the right side, get some good blocking up front. That's when he should have cut it upfield right there. Try to string it out to that sideline, and that's really not the place to be because that's where the Washington Redskins linebackers are.
Third down and a long 4 at the 37. Berline to Smith, first down, and then some up near midfield. Nice touch pass by Steve Berline. Kurt Gavea knocks him out, but it's a gain of 13 yards.
Kurt Gavea trailed the play all the way, and Steve Smith made his move to the outside. Gavea was about 2 or 3 yards behind him and beat already. Nice little touch there by Steve Berline to get it in there, because that's a tough pass to throw when your running back is closing in on that sideline. You have a really tough angle, and Berline did a nice job of getting it in there, and Smith made a nice run on the play after he caught the ball.
I think we should mention also that Monty Coleman has a sore hamstring and most likely would have been out there, the linebacker covering that play. Gavea goes instead, and Smith makes the completion. This will be the last play of the first quarter, and Berline's going deep. Incomplete, and there's a flag. Willie Galt was being bumped down the sideline by Brian Davis and Alvin Walton.
This is the 8th game now they've played this season in the National Football League. I guarantee in about 3 or 4 of them, Willie Galt has not been covered deep. And finally, the Raiders are trying to...
Number 34 on the defense. First down.
Now the Raiders want to go back to that vertical stretch offense. Brian Davis is going to be working one-on-one. He's going to get very comfortable with Willie Galt because he's going to see him all day. There you see him just kind of getting in the back of Galt. He's trying to pull up a little bit, but Willie acts a little bit. We said he wanted to be a thespian. He acted a little bit on that play and just kind of pulled back and got the flag thrown for himself.
Got their feet tangled up. He never looked back for the ball.
Brian Davis, the cornerback for the Washington Redskins, told us yesterday he wasn't really all that experienced at playing football because he really just got into it in college. And here you see a little bit of that inexperience. If he'd looked back for that football, maybe he wouldn't have gotten the flag thrown on him, but he really was beaten by Willie Galt. Had a good enough speed, though, to stay up there with him. He runs a 4.2. Willie probably runs about a 4.1 40.
39-yard penalty. So it's first down Raiders at the 11. Berline, 9 for 11, 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Time of possession, Washington had the ball only 4 minutes in the first 15 minutes. L.A. almost 11. Long count by Berline. Jackson, right side. Gets a couple of tough yards before Alvin Walton makes the tackle.
Interesting thing here, though, is the Raiders are trying to run the ball down here near the goal line when they get into that red zone. Now, are you going to see Steve Berline maybe try to feather that ball up into the end zone again?
Art Shell, the youngest coach in the National Football League.
told us the other day, he said, I want to establish that power game again, that big Raider rushing game that we used to have so much when he was there, along with Gene Upshaw and Dave Dalby and all of those guys. A lot of them who are in the Hall of Fame right now.
2nd down and 8 at the 9. Jackson and Smith are the setbacks. Beuerlein. Incomplete. It was intended on the quick in pattern to Willie Gault, but Brian Davis that time had excellent coverage.
Run a play like that now with Willie Gault going to the post. Now maybe you get a little post corner out of one of those wide receivers where you suddenly have the defense thinking post route. Now you're running, give a good head fake, and then head back out to the corner of the end zone, and again try to let the quarterback just dump it off in there.
Good coverage by Davis that time. The Redskins have to get Beuerlein out of his rhythm somehow. Right now he's extremely hot.
And it's tough to do it because he's taking short drops. He's not dropping back deep to get the ball down deep to his receivers.
3rd down and 8. Going to the corner. Overthrown, intended for his tight end Dial. Todd Bowles on the coverage that time.
Mike Dial was open on the play, and when Steve Beuerlein, that's the thing that you have to learn after a while as a young quarterback, is when to read this thing and throw it right now. And he sets back there. You see, he's not really set, just kind of lets it go up in there, and Dial's got to run a little bit further deeper into that end zone to give his quarterback a chance to just pinch it into the back of the end zone.
That's what I was talking about, taking him out of his rhythm. That time Marshall and Mann came in and made him throw before he was set. Jagger to attempt a 27-yard field goal. He's got 2 misses this year inside 30 yards. But he gets this one from 27. So with 14:03 remaining in the half, the Raiders pick up 3 more and lead 17-7. Now look at Al Davis there, Dan. You know, he said he wanted to go back to power, explosion, and simplicity, the way the Raiders used to play.
Of course, sitting right alongside of him is Jim Otto, the great center for the Raiders. And I talked to Al just before the game, and he said, you know, he had a real good feeling about Art Shell when he made him the head coach of this team.
A.J. Johnson. Oh, and as he hit at the 15, there are flags down. But Ethan Horton came down in his lane and really nailed him.
Ethan Horton, a former.
Holding number 30 during the return, half the distance of the goal, 1st down.
Ethan Horton is a former #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs in '85. Came in as a running back, and of course the Raiders picked him up after he got released and made him a tight end. And he's really done a good job for the Raiders here, especially on special teams. And you'll see him now in some passing situations as well.
That's the 4th penalty against Washington already in this game. We've got 13:54 remaining in the half. If you're just joining us, Mervin Fernandez with 2 touchdown catches. For LA, Joe Howard had a 99-yard kickoff return, and Jeff Jagger just added a 27-yard field goal, and we're at 17-7 with 13:54 remaining in the half. This is Jamie Morris on 1st down, and he's going to lose yardage. Excellent penetration by Greg Townsend. And he got help from Mike Harden. Rippon has plenty of time to Biner. On 2nd down and long, Biner out to the 14-yard line. And he's nailed by Mike Harden.
Nice solid play action there by Mark Rippon there. Really sets that defense up, holds the linebackers, because they're chasing after those running backs, and they see that play action. They automatically stop, and they don't get into the coverage that they should be in. And that's what we mean by holding that action a little bit with play action, because they think it's a run instead of a pass.
Washington's offense has really been out of sync. The Redskins 3 plays and punt on their first 3 possessions. And Rippon just hit his first pass of the day. He's now 1 for 8. 3rd down. Rippon going deep, has Sanders. To the 37-yard line, out of bounds at the 34, and there's a flag. Ricky Sanders knocked out by Lionel Washington. A gain of 52. And Rip put that one right there.
See how easy it is to find your rhythm? All it takes is big plays.
Face mask, number number 45 on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
And he's a 10-year veteran.
Rippon now gets good protection up front from his offensive line. He's looking to that left all the way. He knows he's got his receiver down there deep and just unloads the ball to Ricky Sanders, who turns around, actually has to wait a little bit for the football to be delivered. Now he can't outrun the secondary, though, and then he gets trapped on that sideline. And watch the little face mask right there by Mike Harden. It was an incidental contact to the face mask.
On first down, Morris gives ground and loses ground. Tom Benson, the leading tackler for the Raiders, came through cleanly and made the stop.
And there you see two Plan B guys, number 79, Bob Golick, the nose tackle, and Benson, 54, the linebacker, both Plan B guys that the Raiders signed when those free agents were made available, and certainly both of those guys have made the most out of this situation coming here to the Raiders. They said that they kind of fitted in real well and thought that they might run into some resentment from the older Raiders here, but everybody's just kind of made themselves at home, particularly Golick. He wants to move out here now from Ohio.
Loss of 5, it'll be 2nd and 15 for Washington. Rippon's got problems. Now throws it incomplete. Intended for Sanders. Right now, let's take you back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Tim, the leading scorer for the New York Jets, Eric McMillan. It is Craig with the fumble. Sonny Bono now quarterbacking San Francisco. Steve Young is out with an injured knee. You know I got the wrong Bono, but you get the idea, don't you, Tim? Back to you.
Hey, Brent.
Absolutely, and Cher was coming on the rush.
I was going to ask Brent. I said, was Cher coming on the rush?
We get the idea, Brent. 3rd down and 15 at the 34 for Rippon and Washington. Rippon. Complete to Monk inside the 15 to the 14. Pick up 19 more on that one.
Art Monk ran about a 15-yard stop along the sideline, and he'll be on the left side of your screen. Rip rolls out that way, sees Monk stop right there along the sideline. Good coverage on the play, by the way, by the Raiders, but that ball was just put right in there. Nice protection up front for Rippon as well. Had an opportunity to look downfield, let his receivers develop a pattern downfield. Now watch the protection that he's getting up front. Greg Townsend's the only guy really with any kind of a shot. He got hit in there a little late, but that was incidental.
First down from the 14. Rip throws this one. Incomplete, almost intercepted. Lionel Washington thought he had it. So does Robinson.
No question they will be looking at this one upstairs, and very shortly we're going to get a look at it as well. Here it is from the end zone.
Plays made by Howie Long, though. He put all the pressure up on Rippon.
Well, and down further downfield, here you see Lionel Washington trying to trap that ball, and he did not have possession of that ball when he went down to the ground. Here's another look at it. And that one is really tough to see, but you can see that ball hitting the ground before he has control of it. Just kind of hit down there, and he settled on top of it.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 14 for Washington. Rippon underneath the Biner, and the play is flagged dead before Rippon can release the ball.
False start. Number 85 on the offense. He'll 2nd down.
85 is Donnie Warren.
Once again, that defense gets you rocking a little bit because you understand the speed that you're dealing with over there in that Raider defensive line. You got to settle in there, especially when you get down here in the red zone. You want to settle down and make sure that you don't make those kinds of mental mistakes.
And Biner was open. 5th penalty for Washington, 67 yards, and that'll drive that man nuts. 2nd and 15, the ball at the 19. Rippon has this one. Caught by Warren on the deflection to the 15-yard line. What a play. The ball was batted by Mike Wise, and Warren very wisely grabbed it one-handed and carried it to the 15-yard line.
Way to make the comeback for Donnie Warren. That time Mike Wise just stayed along the line of scrimmage. He's about 6'8" or 6'9". And watch him just reach up and slap the ball down here. And as Rippon passes it right there, he just kind of slaps it back. And Don Warren is has a good presence there, picks up the ball and takes off and makes a couple of yards on the play. That's heads-up football, literally and figuratively.
6th catch of the year for Warren, certainly his most unique catch of the year. 3rd down and 11, Redskins. This is Biner. Has a blocker to the 13-yard line. Ball's loose. Raiders have it. Greg Townsend made the recovery. Eddie Anderson knocked it loose.
And here the ball comes loose just as you see Biner going down. The helmet gets on the ball, knocks it loose. Biner simply loses the ball right there.
Nine minutes and 57 seconds remain in the half. And this tells the story. Bad hands by Washington. They've lost 10 fumbles this year. And many of those were critical. Gerald Riggs with a couple of critical fumbles against the Giants in the very first game, Monday Night Football, inside the 20. Rippon's been sacked 7 times, fumbled 7 times. And again, the Redskins were threatening against the Raiders here. And now it's Ernest Biner who drops the ball inside the 10. First down, Raiders. Bo Jackson struggles ahead. Good defense by the Redskins. Caldwell got there first. Tim Brand along with Dan Jiggets with you on a glorious afternoon in sunny Southern California. The LA Coliseum. Mervin Fernandez started things quickly in the first quarter with 2 touchdown catches for the Raiders. Joe Howard ran back a kickoff 99 yards for Washington. And then Jeff Jager with a 27-yard field goal in the second quarter to make it 17-7. We now have 9:25 remaining in the half. Second down and 8. Raiders at the 12. Long count by Berline. Incomplete, but there's another flag. I couldn't tell if it was intended for Galt or Jackson, but the penalty's against LA.
I think it was actually holding on the offensive line of the Raiders.
Holding, number 63 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's third down.
John Giesick is the guilty party. That last drive, the Redskins drove 82 yards, held the ball over 4 minutes, and came away with absolutely nothing. That hurts.
You know, you get a holding penalty such as Giesick just got there. The good thing about having a head coach that was a former offensive lineman like Art Shell is he understands when you get those calls. You don't get those glaring eyes from him.
4 wide receivers for LA, 6 defensive backs for Washington. On third down and 8 at the 12. Berline has a man wide open. It's Galt to the 37-yard line. Willie Galt. A gain of 25.
These Raider wide receivers run all of their routes at least 20 yards. You got guys like Willie Galt. It only takes him about 2 or 3 seconds to get down there. Here, Berline, good protection up front. Galt runs the out pattern at about 20 yards, and the defender, Brian Davis, just can't keep up with him. Misses a tackle there. Galt makes a little inside move to try to escape, but he gets caught later on. But you know that these Raiders, you look at the averages of these wide receivers, they're all averaging over 20 yards per catch. Galt and Fernandez.
That's his 12th catch of the year. And it's first down at the 37. Play action. Berline's gone deep. Has a man wide open. And dropped. Willie Galt was wide open.
You know what's going through Willie Galt's mind now. If you drop the pass like that, you just figure that maybe you just keep running up the ramp and going to the locker room because you don't want to go back to that huddle and have to face your guys. You see Al Davis shaking his head in disgust there because that's 6 points for the Raiders if Willie just holds on to it. He's going to be on the left side of your screen. Very nice touch by Steve Berline here. Goes deep. That's one of the things the Raiders really like about him is his ability to get the football downfield. Galt wide open, has about 5 yards on a defender that's Todd Bowles and just simply beats him downfield and drops the football.
Second down and 10 Raiders. Skins come with a blitz. And Darrell Brandt and Charles Mann take Jackson down for a loss of 2. Let's go back to New York. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim, I got it now. It is Steve Bono, no relation to Sonny, and here's his first touchdown pitch ever in the NFL. And no, it's not Cher, it's Jerry Rice, 45 yards, 19th of the season. Back to Tim.
All right, Brett. 3rd down and 11.
I don't think we can let him forget that one, Tim.
He doesn't make many mistakes, I'll tell you that.
That's why we have to take advantage of it.
3rd down and 11 at the 36 for Berlin. Redskins are coming. And again, Alexander was open and Berline threw behind him. Wilbur Marshall was coming hard.
Wilbur Marshall came on the blitz outside, untouched. Watch him coming here, just come right to the backside of Steve Berline. Berline really doesn't see him, but Wilbur's coming. You see that back, that Steve Smith go up inside and block Todd Bowles, so nobody's left there to block Wilbur Marshall, and he unloads on Steve Berline.
So Gossett comes on to punt it away for the Raiders. Joe Howard of the Redskins standing at his own 25. It's a wobbly kick that won't turn over. This is Howard. And again, excellent coverage by the Raiders special teams. A 38-yard punt, no return. The tackle made by Emmanuel King. Berline and Mervin Fernandez kept hooking up early in the ball game. Fernandez with 2 touchdown catches. Joe Howard with the longest kickoff return for a touchdown in Redskin history. And Gerald Riggs has not played. So with 7:09 remaining in the half, it's 17-7, the LA Raiders.
And Tim, what the Redskins really have to do now to get back in this ball game is they have to get Mark Rippon throwing on rhythm again like he did last week. Maybe those short 10 and 15-yard passes, getting it off to those wide receivers and establishing that short passing game, which sometimes ends up being just like a long running game.
Tim Brandt and Dan Diggets along with you. Incomplete. And Clark was just hammered. Lionel Washington came and just put his helmet between the 8 and the 4 and took Clark right to the ground.
Well, one of the things, as we were talking before about getting back to that rhythm passing game, is certainly the Raiders secondary understands that that's what Washington's going to try to do. And so they're going to tighten up. They're playing that tough man-to-man up front. So they're just jamming those receivers as soon as they come off the ball.
Redskins' last drive went 82 yards. They held it 4 minutes. Came away with no points. 2nd down and 10 here for Rippon. Biner doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Bob Golick gets in there and jams everything up from his nose tackle position and just stops Ernest Biner in the backfield. If you're going to try to run a draw, you got to get those defensive linemen to commit one way or the other. If the nose tackle or any of those defensive tackles plays off your block and strings it down the line of scrimmage, you got big problems. And certainly that's what happened that time to the Redskins.
Howie Long comes back into the ball game. Tom Benson also will get credit for that last tackle as well. He was in on the assist. He's the leading tackler. Redskins, 6 carries, -6 yards, rushing. 3rd down and 11 here for the Redskins. Rippon, incomplete. It was intended for Biner and broken up by Russell Carter.
Russell Carter, another one of those Raiders coming off the injured list and getting some opportunities to play out. They told me today that he said, there's no question, I'm ready now. Just got to get a little field time.
So the frustration continues for Washington. Moshenko to punt, and Bobby Joe Edmonds standing at his own 25. This punt is shanked. It goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So a 24-yard punt. He just had a 73-yarder his last time out, but shanks this one. First down, Raiders at the 48. After a poor punt by Moshenko, great field position for LA. This is Bo Jackson. Spins and turns and drives his way to the 42-yard line.
You see what I mean about that ability to break the ball back a little bit, though, Tim. He has good vision when he's going through a hole to see a little bit of something on the backside and make that move very quickly, commits to it very quickly, and that's what good running backs do. And as he plays more this season, he gets out of the baseball mode and more into his football mode. You'll see him doing a lot more of that.
2nd down and 3 Raiders. George Brett up in the booth with us. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. I want to find out if Bo changes his personality near the end of the season when he starts thinking ahead to football. 5:29 remaining first half. Smith. And Smith loses yardage. Great penetration by Alvin Walton.
Alvin Walton simply came up to the line of scrimmage, read the play right now, just got right in there and got to Steve Smith's legs before he could turn the corner.
Leading tackler for the Redskins. Their leading tacklers come out of that secondary. The second leading tackler is Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I prefer to have my leading tacklers come in the defensive line and linebackers. I don't want my safeties leading the team in tackles because that means that's the last line of defense.
Redskins come with 6 defensive backs. Berline on 3rd down and 8. Has the ball batted up in the air, incomplete. Washington came with a lot of pressure from outside and in.
A little clean and press there by Charles Mann. Got right in Steve Berline's face and just hit him right in the chest just as he's trying to release the ball.
Berline came up limping.
I would too if Charles Mann hit me in the head like that.
Jeff Gossett. You see his numbers, and he'll be kicking to Joe Howard. The Redskins will let this one hit. And it'll be down at the 4-yard line. Stephon Adams downed it after a 42-yard punt. Joe Howard had no intentions of returning it. He immediately looked for a block. Tim Brett, Dan Jiggets with you at the LA Coliseum. George Brett has come into the booth. George, does Bo change at all at the end of the year? Does he start getting into a mental aspect where he's ready to play football?
Not really. He talks baseball during baseball, football during football. I was talking to him yesterday at practice, and he said, what about some of the changes the Royals made? And then all of a sudden one of the coaches said, hey, Bo, come on. He said, see you, George.
Rippon to Monk to the 12-yard line. I want to know the trick of breaking those bats over his head.
I've seen guys break them over their knee, but never over their head like he does. He's an amazing athlete.
He really is.
George, what do you think it takes out of a guy physically, though, to play 2 sports, 2 professional sports like that?
Well, I don't know many people that could do it. In fact, I was real surprised the way Bo came back after his first year playing football in the spring training the next year. I thought he'd be all banged up and, start off real slow. He started off real fast, and spring training had a great one. So.
2nd down and 1. The Redskins bang it straight ahead. They'll be close to the first down. I don't know if Morris got it. Bob Golick made the tackle. Were you surprised at the domination of the Oakland A's?
Well, it's like I was telling you earlier. I knew how good they were, and I really didn't know how good San Francisco was. And San Francisco's pitching just wasn't there, and Oakland's was. With the disaster up there, everybody got a chance to set up their rotation the way they wanted it. And Oakland, obviously with Mike Moore and Dave Stewart, they're 2 pretty tough pitchers to beat.
George, thanks.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Have a good day.
George Brett, what a great player he is. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the half. It's 17-7 Raiders. And it's 3rd and 1 Washington. Right tackle. First down, Ernest Biner.
And I want to tell you something, Tim, right here. There was a key block up along that line of scrimmage. Somebody got hooked up on Howie Long and flipped him on his back. Real nice blocking up front by the Washington Redskins to get that first down. Watch the blocking right up in here. Watch this part of the offensive line for the Redskins. You're going to see Howie Long, number 75, get put right on his back. Right there. That's good blocking. Got a little help from Reggie Branch, number 29, coming out of the backfield, but that was great blocking up front.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. The Redskins have first down, the ball at the 16. Morris tripped up, and he loses a yard again. It's Howie Long.
Howie gives and Howie takes away. That time he's working against Mark May. Mark's trying to string the play out to the sideline. Howie cuts back inside, throws him off with those strong arms he's got, and just reaches back in and makes the stop.
Howie Long, Bob Golick, Scott Davis. playing a lot more aggressively. And Long now talking about prolonging his career.
Yeah, he said, you know, now with Archell being here, he feels like that whole Raider attitude is back now, and he wants to stick around for as long as they'll let him.
Second down and a long 10 for Rippon. Looks across the middle, has the completion. Sanders drags his tackler out to the 34-yard line. Terry McDaniel, who's in the ball game, was the defender, a gain of 18.
We talked about the Redskins wanting to go to some of those crossing routes. They felt that that was going to be the effective offense against the man-to-man defense that you're going to see out of the Raiders. And the reason why is because it's very difficult. If you're covering a guy man-to-man and he makes those sharp cuts inside, it's tough to stay up with him.
We've got the 2-minute warning, first half. The lead is 10. By 10. And the Redskins have yet to find that strong rhythm. Both clubs have all their timeouts remaining.
You know, I'm not so sure now if I were the Washington Redskins, I wouldn't want to start testing downfield just to see what these cornerbacks of the Raiders are made of a little bit. Let's go to our vertical game and see if we can get the ball downfield as well.
Rippon on first down drills this one incomplete. Broken up by Lionel Washington, number 48.
Lionel Washington had a little help back there as well as double coverage there on the receiver, and when you get that in the secondary, you say, hey, look, now we don't have to work as hard. Gary Clark's got to try to find an open spot between the both of us, and it's not going to happen when you have guys in the secondary that are used to playing so much bump and run and playing it by themselves without any deep help.
Clark tried to find the seam after a shaky start. Rippon went 0 for 5. Now he's 7 for 17, 112 yards. Second down and 10, 6 defensive backs for the Raiders. Rippon with time throws underneath. Sanders to the 45-yard line.
What a great block, though, by Ernest Biner to come back and help Ricky Sanders on the play. And that got about another 5 or 6 yards, and more importantly, got the receiver out of bounds to stop the clock. Good play there by Biner, though, to come back and throw that block downfield. Now, here's Rippon, pulls out. He's going to float a little bit to his right, just a tad there. But he's very nice in there, settling in, finds the receiver coming across. Now, watch Biner come back here. Right there, that's the key block right there that allows the receiver, A, to get more yardage, and B, to get out of bounds and kill the clock.
It stopped the clock with 1:46 remaining in the first half. A gain of 11. Third catch for Sanders. First down for the Redskins. Rippon intercepted. Jerry Robinson to the 30-yard line. And Lachey cold-cocked it. Robinson looks like he's out.
He got hit by Mike Tyson.
I believe it was Jim Lachey, but he just really crunched him.
Well, the thing you want to do as an offense, if defenders make those interceptions, you want to make sure that you get your shots and to let them know that it's not going to be a free ride when you make that interception. We certainly hope that Jerry Robinson's not hurt seriously on the play. He was playing underneath. Now, a lot of times you'll see defenses play man underneath and a little bit of zone back. He's right in the middle of your screen now. Rippon sees the receiver coming across, but does not see that linebacker floating across the middle.
This is a 25-yard return by Robinson, but then Lachey causes a fumble and Washington recovers.
And right here at the end is when the fumble comes. Jerry Robinson just gives up the ball there as he gets knocked out on the play. And looks like Lachey may have even recovered the ball.
Boy, you call that a slobber knocker. That's a hit.
Here it is again. Now watch, he gets set up there, I think, by Biner, and Lachey just knocks him out and takes the ball away. It's on the far side of the field. It's a little difficult for us to see all the way over there, because it is a long way from where we are. But certainly Jim Lachey got in there and really just made a nice play.
They're still working on Robinson as you look at Jim Lachey. So it's ruled a 25-yard return by Robinson. A fumble, and the fumble's recovered by the Redskins' Jim Lachey. And Robinson is up and appears to be at least in one piece.
Once again, here's the hit, and you're going to see Robinson get set up by number 21, Ernest Biner, right there. And Lachey's just going to come in and do the Timmy and Lassie routine on him, knock the ball loose, and he just reaches down on the field and just grabs the football and recovers it. So he gets the hit and the fumble recovery.
Timmy and Lassie.
Yeah, one guy gets you behind and you push him over the other guy. And there's Jerry Robinson. He's still trying to figure out if he's in L.A. County or is he back east.
Wow, what a hit. And Robinson definitely feeling the effects of that.
Well, Lachey said he's been in the weight room a lot more. You can look at those arms and tell they're blowing up a little bit since the time he came to Washington from San Diego, and certainly showed some strength on that play.
First down, Redskins at the 31. Rippon fumbles, recovered by the Raiders.
Rippon on the sack, fumbles the football again. Golick and Townsend, number 93, got in on the play. Watch on the left side of your screen, because that's where some of that pressure is going to be coming from. Right there, Rippon tries to get out, and of course, that's where Townsend came from, that left side. Came inside, and it caused the fumble by Mark Rippon, and it's recovered by the Raiders. Howie Long, number 75.
So the problem continues. Rippon came into this game with 7 sacks, 7 fumbles. He's been sacked twice today, and he fumbles this time. 1:27 remaining in the half. First down, L.A. Furline is going for it all. Intercepted by Davis at the goal line, and he's got to run now. Davis goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So 3 plays, and the ball's been turned over 3 consecutive times.
Lack of concentration on the part of Steve Berline. I mentioned earlier in the game that he has a problem when he gets inside the 20 and recognizing the severity of the situation and taking advantage of it. And here he just simply floats the ball up in the end zone. Brian Davis almost has to call for a fair catch down in the end zone because he can't believe the ball's coming to him. Berline has time to unload the ball. You see him there. He's fairly comfortable back in that pocket. He just throws it up there, and Davis catches the ball and can't quite figure out whether or not he wants to take it out of the end zone or not. You see some pressure by Manley, but that comes late. The ball's already about 20 yards downfield, and that was just a nice interception by Davis out there in the end zone. See, he had to bring the ball out. Once he took that step out, couldn't say it was an impetus thing that brought him back into the end zone. He had to run it out.
The Redskins may just melt the clock here as we approach the 1-minute mark.
It looked like hockey with all those turnovers. 4 turnovers on 3 consecutive plays. So you figure the fumble and the pass, the fumble by Rippon, the fumble first by Robinson, and then the pass interception.
The Raiders take a timeout, and it's going to be a short timeout with 1:01 in the half. It's 2nd down and 8 Washington. We just had 4 turnovers in 3 consecutive plays. Rippon on the screen to Biner. Biner blasts his way out to the 38-yard line. And the Redskins immediately take a timeout.
When you get that much yardage on a play like a screen play, now you say, hey, maybe we can get down in field goal territory. Suddenly, while you're willing to run the clock out, just run a little screen and see what you could get. Now you start thinking attack and get down there and get a field goal out of this thing quite possibly.
A gain of 22 yards. 48 seconds remain in the half. Washington with 2 timeouts remaining. The Raiders with 1. But I doubt if the Raiders will need that one.
Well, the good thing for the Redskins is they understand working those sidelines and working those slanting patterns and getting to that out of bounds, because that's part of the main part of their passing game is working those slanting patterns. Now you have to work it to that out of bounds and stop the clock. You can do that about 2 or 3 times and work your way downfield.
In the last minute and a half, it has been wild. I can't remember that many turnovers in that short a span. And the best hit of the day had to be by Lachey on Robinson.
Yeah, he could very well get the Defensive Player of the Game award for the Washington Redskins today.
First down, Redskins. Rippon. Incomplete. Intended for Monk, but he was pushed out by Terry McDaniel. Incomplete.
And you saw one of the assistant coaches for the Raiders got knocked down on the play and got back up and threw his hands up in the air. He's pretty proud that he took a shot.
Redskins got off the bus yesterday talking about how important this game is. As you look at the NFC East, they're 4-3. 2 losses to the Giants, 1 to Philadelphia, albeit by 11 points total. Those 3 losses. And the Raiders 3-4. trailing Denver by 3 games in the West. Rippon over the middle. First down, Washington. Complete to Sanders. You see the clock now, under 35 seconds. And there is a penalty flag.
The defense will leave those kinds of routes open for the offense. And the main reason why is it just kills the clock. Face mask penalty there.
Face mask by the defense, 5 yards, first down.
Incidental face mask now. But what the defense will do is they will let you have anything in the middle of the field as long as it's not 20 or 30 yards. But they will not. They will try to prevent you from getting to the sideline. And certainly that's what's on the Raiders' defensive minds now.
Chip Lohmiller's longest field goal this year is 48 yards. This is Rippon to Sanders again to the 41. The clock at 28, and Washington takes another timeout.
Timeout number 2 for the Redskins.
So the Redskins have 1 timeout remaining.
Certainly this man's done a good job with his club, the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs. You know, we talked to him yesterday. He said at some point or another he may think about going back and coaching young people. Really gets a lot of enjoyment out of the kids, and at some point in his career he may want to go back and do that. However, I don't think it's going to be this year. 2 Super Bowl wins you saw there and a whole bunch of NFC Championship show-ups.
27 seconds remain in the half. It's second down and 4 for Rippon. Over the middle, Clark to the 33-yard line. Washington hurried up offense. Still has 1 timeout remaining. They run the clock play with 10 seconds remaining.
Tim, in reality, Washington needs about 10 more yards to get in a comfortable field goal range, and I'm sure that's what Mark Rippon is thinking now. If I can get another one of those little slant routes in there and maybe get 10 yards out of it to get and put Lohmiller in a good position to kick the field goal.
Lohmiller, 15 of 17 this year in field goals. Again, his longest was 48 yards. Ranked second in the NFC in kicking as you look at Joe Gibbs. 10 seconds remain. Second down and 10, Washington. Rippon to Clark to the 26-yard line. And the Redskins take a timeout with 3 seconds remaining, and that'll bring on Lohmiller. Harbor's the center, Mochenko is the holder, and Lohmiller's the kicker. A 43-yard attempt. 3 seconds remain in the half. The Raiders lead by 10. Lohmiller's kick is long enough, and it's good. So that's the end of the first half with the score. Los Angeles 17, Washington 10.
Marcus Allen, I saw him before the game. He says, hey, make sure you mention my name, would you? I don't think anybody needs to know that Marcus Allen is still on the Raiders, though.
Well, you know, there are only 5 players on the Raiders squad who played in Super Bowl 18 against Washington. Long, Bikel, Haynes, Townsend, and Mosbar. So Lohmiller's kick to start the second half is taken by Bobby Joe Edmonds. Edmonds across the 20, upended at the 21. And that's where LA will have the ball to start things off. The tackle was made by Terry Orr. A 20-yard return. As you look at some of the scores from around the National Football League.
Terry Orr made a nice special teams play there. Played off of a block and just went down and cut Bobby Joe Edmonds and flipped him up in the air.
It'll be first down LA at the 21-yard line. All set for the second half.
Cincinnati spanked Tampa Bay today.
Bo Jackson and Steve Smith out of the eye. It's Galt and Fernandez at the top of your swing. Off the right side, big gain, 7 yards. So Bo Jackson starts off quickly in the second half.
Tracy Rocker and Steve Wisniewski are mixing it up pretty good up on front. You know, 2 young rookies working against each other. Watch them right here. This is the area of concern. Now, Steve Wisniewski told us yesterday, he said, I'm glad I'm finally getting a chance to play against a rookie, another rookie, that is. And he gets a nice block there, little turnout. You know, here it is, Friday afternoon here in Los Angeles, and Steve Wisniewski's still in the weight room while all of his other teammates are gone home. He's still lifting weights and trying to get better.
Second down and 4. You had me confused. I thought you were going to say today was Friday. Bo Jackson breaks it big. First down. across midfield. Needs a block. He's gone. And Bo knows he's gone. 73 yards.
On the sideline, they almost expect now to win football games, to do things right. And we talked earlier in the game about Bo Jackson and the fact that he hadn't gone over 100 yards in 14 games. And I told you that the Washington Redskins might live to regret you mentioning that today, Tim.
Jeff Jager for the extra point. 11 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown for Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson got a great block out of Steve Smith as fullback. We talked earlier about how these guys complement each other in the backfield. Watch Steve Smith, number 35, the fullback. He gets out there, throws that block out in front. That allows Bo to cut it back up. He knocks down Wilbur Marshall. Now, Bo explodes now, gets away from a couple of tacklers, and now nobody's going to catch him when he gets in the open. You see Charles Mann down there. He's trying to swat at him, but forget it. Bo knows how to run.
That swat doesn't get it, does it?
No. But the only thing he doesn't know is how to play hockey.
Not what Bo Diddley says. What a way to start the second half. That's the second 100-yard game in his career. The first in 14 games for him.
Yeah, you coming up off of that now, huh? There's the with and without Bo file. And, of course, in 16 games, and you look at the rushing plays that the Raiders had without Bo, 443, and, of course, with him now, 598. Of course, that includes last season as well. And passing plays have gone down to 570 with Bo as opposed to 600 with him.
Bo knows. So Jeff Jager comes on to kick off. Joe Howard and A.J. Johnson will be deep for the Redskins. And Howard has a 99-yarder today, so hold on. It's a high, short kick. Howard at the 16. And there's a flag thrown. Tackle was made by Steve Strahan, the player out of Boston College. We'll wait to see what the flag is. And it's against Washington. And how difficult is it for players to adjust to the time difference? And we'll get to that right after this.
Illegal block during the run back, number 29 of the receivers, first down at 10.
That's Reggie Branch. I really think that it's tough if you're coming all the way from the East Coast to come out here and get here on a Saturday afternoon and be expected to perform well on Sunday. I think you have to get out here maybe on a Friday evening, get a practice in, have a Saturday practice here, and kind of acclimate yourself to the fact that you're going through about 3 time zones or 4 time zones. It's very difficult to do that.
Well, the reason I ask is you and I were joking about it after the long flight and the 3-hour time difference. Also, we set the clocks back for daylight standard time. Rippon looks deep, now throws the out pattern in the direction of Gary Clark, incomplete.
You mentioned turning the clocks back. I can imagine those people at home now who are listening and realize just now that they forgot to turn theirs back.
No, that's it. You forget in the spring. You get an extra hour of sleep in the fall. You never forget that. It'll be second down and 10 for Washington.
Boy, the Dallas Cowboys just can't seem to win a football game. Everybody thought that today was a day that maybe they could beat the Phoenix Cardinals and get one in the win column, but apparently not.
Bad case of the Ophers. 0 for 1989. On second down, Rippon to Sanders. And Ricky Sanders has a first down for Washington at the 22.
And Lyndon King, just simply number 52 for the Raiders, just simply missed the tackle on that play. Really should have stopped the play for about a 6-yard gain, and it ends up being a lot more than that.
11-yard pickup, 6th catch for Sanders. Tackle was made by Ricky Hundley. And Sanders is shaken up. Redskins came into this game as the top-rated offense in the NFL. But they are struggling now. First down and 10 at the 22. Straight ahead, absolutely nothing. Again, the defense closes it all down. Ricky Hundley got there first, and he got a lot of support from his teammates.
Well, one of the things that the Raiders do pretty well along their defensive line is with Golick and those guys up front, they slide along that line of scrimmage very well, use their hands extremely well. So when the Hogs try to get off and block them one-on-one, they're throwing them to the side and then they're making the stop at the line of scrimmage. And if you want to be effective against a Raider defense, what you got to do is hook up on them and get them off the line of scrimmage. Let's see if the Hogs can do that now as they go into this drive.
On 2nd down and 9, sends everybody out, throws incomplete. He had to unload it quickly because Benson was coming, and he had a lot of help back there with Golick and Howie Long.
Benson loves to come after the passer as a linebacker, and when you send a linebacker, a lot of times what happens is if you run a twist and complement that with blitzing a linebacker, one of those offensive linemen will not see that linebacker coming around, and as a result, he gets a free shot on your quarterback because he's hidden by those two guys running the twist routes, running those stunts up front where they cross.
3rd down and 9, Washington. Again, his backside pressure, ball's loose.
And once again, Mark Rippon fumbles the ball as he gets sacked. And this time it was from the front side.
And the Raiders have it.
He got hit from the front side. This time as he's turned around, he could see the rusher coming in his face, and he just simply did not react and slide up in the pocket. Scott Davis recovers the fumble.
Townsend applied the pressure. Davis.
Now watch the pressure come from Townsend. He's right up here. Comes right in that, and he's a hard upfield rusher anyway. You know, if you're blocking against Greg Townsend, you got to get arm extension as Joe Jacoby just lets him beat him on the corner, and he gets a clean shot on Mark Rippon. Rippon actually did not see him because he was looking downfield, trying to react downfield and get the ball away.
And Davis made the recovery. It is frustrating for the Redskins. Not so for the Raiders. 1st down and 10 at the 14. Raiders bang straight ahead. Smith gets a couple of tough yards.
Tim, when you think about the Redskins turning over the football down here in their red zone now, see, that's when a turnover really does a lot of damage to you, because if you're down on your own 20, then that team has to work, you know, the defense or the offense of the other team has to work 80 yards to get the score. Here, they only got to go 20 yards to get a touchdown. They can kick a field goal right now and get the 3 points. That's when it really, really hurts you on those turnovers, because you're giving up easy 7 points in a lot of situations.
2nd down and 7 at the 11. Burline, pitch to the right side, throws in that direction, incomplete. Intended for Bo Jackson.
Raven Caldwell had Bo Jackson covered like a blanket on that play. That was good coverage by Caldwell all the way to the end zone. Good protection for Burline. Now watch this coverage here by, you see Caldwell right down at the bottom of your screen. He had Bo covered all the way. Bo couldn't have caught that one if he had run out of bounds and sat in the first row of seats.
Boy, if you're Rippon, you have to start thinking about what's taking place. Well, 3 sacks, 2 fumbles today.
And we mentioned it to him yesterday, and he said, I knew you guys were going to bring that up. He said, you know what happens is a lot of times they come from the backside, and I just don't see the rusher. In that case, he didn't see it coming from the front side.
How can you help it not bring it up? 3rd down and 7, fade pattern, incomplete. Barry Wilburn on Manny Fernandez.
And
Mervin Fernandez.
And Raider fans want a pass interference play there, but that was good coverage there by Wilburn. Just played the ball all the way. Fernandez tried to react back inside. Now watch left side of your screen. You're going to see Fernandez try to reach back inside, but Wilburn is really in good position there. Turns around, looks for the ball, and Fernandez tries to react back to it. And there's Berline's reaction. See, this rule change really affects a lot of people. Everybody says, well, gee, that was pass interference. The key, though, is if those defensive backs react to that football and look for the ball, you can get away with mugging somebody down.
Jager with a 29-yard field goal attempt. And it's good. His second of the game. And it's 27-10 Raiders. Jager's kick this time takes Howard back 5 yards into the end zone. He's going to run it out. But he's not going to get far. He's downed at the 10. Let's take you to New York. Here's Brent.
Well, Tim, the Philadelphia Eagles are manhandling the Denver Broncos. Great effort here by Jimmy Giles. Remember, this game is being played out in Denver. 40-some degrees, 21-7 now, Philadelphia. Go back to Tim.
And that Philadelphia game extremely important to Washington.
And, of course, for the Raiders as well.
Play action for Rippon. Drills this one, and Clark has it at the 33-yard line.
Tim, this is a critical point in the game, I think, for the Washington Redskins. Now's the time when you got to start making some positive moves, because you drift along in a game, and suddenly you realize you're late in the fourth quarter. But you've got to start attacking the defense now and making them establish yourself, establish your offense, and get down and get a touchdown. Because now if you let it drift on and suddenly the Raiders are back on the field with the football, you're out of the ball game.
A gain of 22, the third catch of the day for Clark. First down, Washington at the 33. With the screen to Biner. And Biner hit at the 37 by Lyndon King.
Oh, boy, Lyndon King came up and got all hat that time on Biner. He took him to the sideline and made him a part of the out-of-bounds marker. Lyndon King with a great play there from his linebacking position. Watch it right down here at the end. Now watch Biner snap back as Lyndon King comes in here and delivers that shot. See, that's what you want to see from your linebackers. Come in there, deliver that shot, stop the running back from gaining yardage. Right here, King closes in. He's got a little help coming from inside from Scott Davis, but he just delivers a blow.
On second down and 6, Rippon to Clark. Needs a block, gets it to the 46. He couldn't keep his feet. Lyndon King tripped him.
But you notice that uplifting spirit all of a sudden from the Redskins offense, running those crossing patterns, people getting active in the ball game. The Redskins are experienced enough to know when you get in that critical time in the ball game, you have to start moving the ball and getting into action. Otherwise, you might as well pack it up and get on the plane and go home.
Crowd's gotten very quiet here. 9:37 remaining third period. It's 27-10 Raiders. On first down, again it's play action, and Rippon goes deep. Intercepted. It's Eddie Anderson.
Jim, they're going to take a look at this play, though, because Eddie Anderson, as he was intercepting the ball, went to the ground, and I'm sure the officials are going to look to see if it was trapped. You see Gibbs indicating that the ball hit the ground as Eddie Anderson was leaning forward, trying to make the interception. Here you see another look at it. He's right in the middle of your screen, number 33, Eddie Anderson for the Raiders. Now watch him float back there, play that middle very nicely there from his safety position. He intercepts the ball here, that pops up, and the key is when he was going to the ground, that ball bounced and hit the ground before he could fully recover it. Made a nice run, got an escort there by Benson, and made a nice run out of that thing.
Return to 20 yards. If it stands, it's Anderson's third interception of the year. Joe Gibbs clearly thought the ball had hit the ground, and they're reviewing it even as we speak. Replay official, Gaylord Bryan.
Eddie Anderson's the only guy in the Raiders who is still on the Raiders from that replacement team of a couple of years ago. Anderson is saying, hey, I got this.
Review by the replay official. The play stands. First down.
First down, Raiders at the 41. Raiders threatening to blow it wide open. Berline. Willie Galt at the 17.
We got Steve Berline down. It looks like somebody rolled up on his ankle. He's trying to run that thing off, but I don't know if he can or not. Willie Galt makes a tough play down in the middle, though, cutting back across, and a lot of people say that he's not willing to come back and make those tough catches. Let's see what's wrong there with Steve Berline. It appears to be an ankle that got rolled up on.
Actually, he was holding his knee, Dan, as you see Jay Schrader. Schrader ready to come in, so he will face the Redskins. A lot of speculation this past week in Washington.
Here's another look at what happened to Steve Berline. Watch as someone runs into his ankle or his knee there. The ball, it comes in late, and it apparently is somebody from the middle of the Redskins defensive line. It's about the best picture we've got to show you on that.
Dan, some in the Redskins front office believe that starting Berline today was an admission that last September's Schrader for Jim Lachey deal was a Redskins steal. 8:57 remaining third period. They continue to work on the knee of Steve Berline. We understand it's a knee strain. He leaves the game 11 for 22, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Jay Schrader comes into the ball game, and he was booed when he came in. First down at the 19 Raiders. Bo Jackson gets a tough yard, maybe. Right now, let's take you back to our New York studio and Brent Musburger. Brent?
Tim, we've got a good late game brewing out in Denver. Philadelphia up 21-7, and then John Elway throws a touchdown pass. Great catch by Vance Johnson. And they're getting close to the fourth quarter out there. It's 21-14 Eagles. And let's send you back to Tim.
All right, Brent, 8:14 to go third period here in Los Angeles. Tim Brent, along with Dan Jiggets. Second down and 10 at the 19 for the Raiders. Schrader's pass, incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Mike Dial, but it wasn't even close.
Ken, that's the same problem that Jay Schrader's been having all along this season with the Raiders. You see him sit back in the pocket, then he takes that step up, then he takes another step, keeps looking downfield. You know, what Steve Berline was doing for the Raiders is what they want. You sit back there, you deliver the football, you make the strike in there, and you don't dance around in the pocket and put your offensive lineman in some kind of a sweat up front.
It'll bring up third down and 10 for the Raiders.
That's what Jay's got to do. He's just got to settle down in the pocket and be committed to the passing game. Just sit down there and take his lumps when they're going to come.
Schrader doesn't set, throws incomplete, and again, it's not even close. And Dexter Manley levels Rory Graves on that play.
You see, that's a typical Jay Schrader thing this year. You saw him sit back there in the pocket, not even get set up, just simply throw the football to the corner of the end zone. That does your offense no good when you do that. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping your offense when you just throw the ball away like that. Sitting there, you're going to take a shot, that's what they pay you for, and nail one of those wide receivers in the end zone. Willie Galt.
So Jeff Jager comes back on. A 37-yard attempt this time. He's already hit 2 from 26 and 29. Plenty of distance, and it's good. So with 7:42 remaining in the third period, it's Raiders big. Tim Brand along with Dan Jiggets, and when you look at this, you have to say, can the Redskins get back in it? They have had no running game and have been very inconsistent passing.
I think one of the things the Redskins are going to have to do now is change philosophy a little bit and start stretching the defense of the Raiders, trying to go deep, because certainly now it's called for critical measures.
Jager's kick is a short one. but it rolls into the end zone, and A.J. Johnson will down it for the touchback.
Tim, you know, earlier I was talking about Jay Schrader and how he has to settle down the pocket. Now, watching this play, that's the last one we saw. He never stops dropping back, never squares up his shoulders. He just simply drops back and floats the ball up there and throws it away. At some point or another, your quarterback's got to stop, plant his feet, and rifle that ball downfield, not just float it up there and try to get off the field.
For Washington, Stan Humphries comes into the ball game for Mark Rippon, who has struggled this afternoon. First down at the 20. Humphries' first snap. Jamie Morris to the 27-yard line, and Morris will be about 2.5, 3 yards shy of the first down. Tackle made by Scott Davis and Ricky Hundley.
In an effort to get things moving in another direction, Stan Humphries is in the ball game, and you can understand Joe Gibbs' reasoning. He says, hey, if Rip doesn't have it today, you can't be afraid to go to your second guy and try to get something generated.
That's his first completion in the National Football League. Nice way to start. It'll be second down and a long one. And this play is whistled dead almost immediately.
And once again,
False start. Right guard on the offense, still second down.
And once again, it's Howie Long causing all of those problems up front. Talked to Howie the other day about how fast he's getting off the line of scrimmage. And he says, hey, look, it really isn't any secret. If you're getting to be near 100% healthy, you can play. And people don't have to ask you, gee, is it just a fact that you don't want to play or whatever? He said, I wasn't physically ready to play, and now I'm getting back to that point where I'm getting back to my old form. And he can get off the line of scrimmage on you.
I'm sure Howie Long had a lot to do with that, but how about a new quarterback, new snap count?
Another good possibility.
7th penalty for Washington. It'll be second down and 6 at the 24. Humphries with time has it intercepted. Eddie Anderson inside the 20 to the 5. Touchdown Raiders. Second interception, a return of 45 yards.
Go back to last time we showed you Eddie Anderson's interception. Played the middle of that field, kind of like a center fielder in baseball. Same kind of thing he did on that play to get his second interception of the day.
It won't count. There's a flag down. Play was whistled dead.
Number 60 on the offense.
I guess you'd have to say that Art Shell has restored the Raider tradition.
You know, I'll tell you, I was in their locker room before the game, and it's unusual for teams to allow you in their locker room before the game, number one, but they kind of welcome you into that Raider locker room, and you go in and the music's playing and everybody's standing around talking and having a great time, and that's part of that Raider tradition. That's the way it was when they were in Oakland. They learned how to enjoy themselves.
Art Shell said if he could fall asleep in his locker before a game, he knew he was ready. He was relaxed. He still is, and the extra point is good. He can afford to be relaxed now. He leads 37-10. Jaeger to kick off again to Howard and Johnson. This is Joe Howard. To the 27-yard line, but there's another flag. A return of 20 yards. Ethan Horton made the tackle. Redskins have 6 turnovers in this game. All 3 in this half have led to Los Angeles scores. 2 field goals and a touchdown.
As you can probably tell, the penalty is against the Redskins as well.
Not like that one bit. He says we have to play above ourselves to win any games. First down, Redskins. And Rippon back in the ball game has a completion to his tight end, Donnie Warren. Second down, Rippon again, throws, has the completion. Nice move. Out on the corner, it'll be close to another Redskin first down. That catch was made by Ricky Sanders. Next Saturday, our college football coverage will take you out to Boulder, Colorado for a pretty good matchup between Nebraska and Colorado. Don't miss that. Clark has the catch at the 35. Across midfield to the 44-yard line.
See, this is the area of the game where if you're on the Raiders sideline, you'd say, now, guys, let's not go to sleep on this thing, because you mess around and let these Redskins get back into it, and all of a sudden we'll come down late in the fourth quarter and have a real game on our hands.
A gain of 35. Biner puts the ball on the ground but recovers his own fumble. Gains about 8. Scott Davis will get credit for that tackle.
Biner did a little yo-yo deal there, bouncing on the ground and just scooped it right back up.
4 minutes and 40 seconds remain in the third quarter. Rippon goes deep in the direction of Sanders, but it was overthrown. And then a couple of interceptions, 6 turnovers, 3 here in the second half. And it's 37-10. Redskins have had trouble with the turnovers all year. Sanders to the 27-yard line.
Sanders came across in motion, and Rippon just simply followed him out there, rolled out to that corner, and just dumped it off to Sanders underneath. Nice conception on that play. You'll see Sanders right here coming along in motion. He's just going to slide out and go straight to the sideline and watch Rippon roll out and almost follow him down there. You see that the guy that's trying to cover him is coming all the way over from the other side of the field. When you're running man-to-man, Terry McDaniels has to come all the way across the field and try to follow him. Of course, he's got to avoid about 3 or 4 guys back there.
First down, Rippon goes to the corner. Monk's open, but he's overthrown. Second down and 10. Rippon. Great defensive play by Lionel Washington working on Monk. Third down and 10. Rippon has Clark wide open. Touchdown, Washington. And again, they were working on Zeff Lee.
Zeff Lee being the likely suspect back there because he's the most recent addition to the secondary of the Raiders. Came in as a running back, and when you're working against Gary Clark and you are a former running back, you better learn how to play some man-to-man coverage and get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage.
Clark's 6th catch of the afternoon, 27-yard strike that time. Lohmiller on for the extra point. And it's good. Lohmiller's kick is loose. That's a live football, and I think the Raiders got it back.
It bounced right off of Zeff Lee's chest as he was trying to catch the ball. It just popped right off of his chest and went back up in the air. Zeff Lee being number 40 for the Raiders. He's been having a tough go of it the last 2 plays. Gets beat for the touchdown and then messes up the kickoff return.
There is still plenty of time in this ball game. 3:49 remain, third period. It's 37-17 Raiders. Ricky Hundley was the guy that covered up that fumble and got it back for the Raiders. Jay Schrader, the quarterback, replacing Steve Berline, who had a fine day but went out with a knee strain. First down at the 28. Redskin defense rises to the occasion. Porter taken down quickly. 14 shoe, but it's 4 E's. It's like a box. On 2nd and 12. Schrader. Incomplete. Bo Jackson had it and dropped it. Incomplete.
his ability to sit back in the pocket and throw the football.
Feels like a baseball on his shoulder where it was separated. Gossett's punt is a high spiraler. Howard will go all the way back to the 25 and look for a wall. Fumble. Ball's loose. Raiders got it.
Kerry Porter appears to be the guy, number 31 for the Raiders, that recovered the football. And Howard is still down on the ground. More disappointed than anything else.
Ethan Horton made the hit to knock it loose.
Howard's trying to make something happen up in the air, something positive, and just gets wrapped up in there by about 3 or 4 players. And as he's on his back, the ball comes out. Now, he's not officially down, so that ball rolls out before he gets down to the ground. Now, let's get this angle on it and make sure that he indeed was not down to the ground before that ball popped out. See him diving, going back there backwards, and the ball is stripped out by Ethan Horton, it appears.
Well, you know the ground can't cause a fumble.
That's right, but see, he turned, he was on his back, and he was falling backwards. So apparently that's when the ball came out, and he was just sitting on his chest.
They're going to review it.
As well they should.
Jay Schrader 0 for 4. Intercepted. Barry Wilburn. So Schrader 0 for 5 now has an interception, and there's a flag. You're going to get a call from Mr. Tagliabue.
I hope so.
Rippon is going deep in the direction of Monk, and it's incomplete. Knocked down by Lionel Washington. Rippon to Clark. And Clark gets out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Tom Benson was the guy who chased him out.
The receiver, though, trying to read the quarterback.
Gain of 12, first down. Rippon goes to Monk. He's open and can't hold on. But there is a flag. He was working on Zepp Lee. And they're going to call pass interference against Lee.
Zepp Lee's had a tough day on the freeway.
He has, but he's going against the NFL's best. So the ball moves out to the 46-yard line of Los Angeles. Redskins have first down and 10. Rippon with time, throws it across the middle. It's intercepted by Benson. At midfield to the 43-yard line. Tom Benson with the interception.
And Ricky Hundley came over and tipped the ball up, and that sets up the interception. Now watch, Hundley's going to be right in the middle of your screen. Watch the linebackers here. Watch Hundley right over here. Now watch him come across on the play and tip it up right there, and that allows Benson to make the interception. And Benson is very alert to pick that ball up and grab it.
Now the Raiders had only 6 interceptions this year coming into today's ball game. Today they have 4, 3 against Rippon and 1 from Humphrey. Left side. And he's tagged pretty good over there by Alvin Walton. Second down and 3. Schrader has yet to complete a pass. He did complete one to the Redskins secondary. This is Porter. First down, Los Angeles. Jackson bangs his way to the 30-yard line.
Going back to that, the fact that the team was talking about having a coach who's been through the NFL wars, and Art Shell was telling us a story about Marcus Allen. As Art got up to give his first speech to the team, he was telling some war stories about what it means to be a Raider. And Marcus Allen rose up and put his hand up and said, hey, Coach, these are great stories. Can you hold on to some of these? Don't tell us everything now. Save some to kind of space them out during the season as time goes by and as the need arises. Don't use all your good material at once.
Said he was getting goosebumps. Hair was standing on end. 30 seconds to play, third period. quarter on 2nd and 7, gets one, maybe two. Charles Mann made the tackle. And Los Angeles trying to melt the clock, and they were not doing a very good job of that throughout the third period. So that's the end of the third stanza. Rippon with pressure has the completion. First down, Redskins. Ricky Sanders at the 48-yard line.
Ricky Sanders ran that curl route in there, gets in front of the defensive back, settles down in there and makes a nice catch. Critical catch for the Redskins.
Washington battling that clock. That's the time remaining in the game. Rippon steps up in the pocket, drills it in the direction of Clark, incomplete. Washington needs 10. More importantly, they need points. Rippon across midfield to the 48-yard line. Tom Benson makes the tackle. Sanders will not have enough for the first down. He's at the 45-yard line. Zeph Lee makes the stop there. But it'll bring up another fourth down situation for the Washington offense. For Washington, they need 3. Rippon batted down. Howie Long got a hand on it, and Washington will turn the ball over. It's easy to see why Washington trails by 20. They have 8 yards rushing, 8 turnovers, and Gerald Riggs, of course, has not played yet. Of course, Joe Gibbs told us yesterday he didn't think Riggs would play. He's got 2 sprained ankles, did not practice. Bo Jackson, big hole left side, inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, knocked out by Alvin Walton. This is Jackson again. Gains 2 the hard way.
Steve Wisniewski, the young offensive guard for the Raiders, at the time pulled out and really made a key block and a key adjustment. As he pulled out to go around the corner, he recognized that Charles Mann, number 71 for the Redskins, was slicing through and just simply turned around, stopped, pulled up, and turned around and blocked him and took him out of the play completely.
We asked Wisniewski, the rookie out of Penn State, what the biggest adjustment for him has been turning pro. He says, well, the biggest thing is we played so many games. By now, we would have been in a bowl game at Penn State. 2nd down and 8. Bo Jackson loses 2 yards. Tackle made by Dexter Manley. Let's take you back to New York and Brent Musburger. And it's 3rd down and 11 for Los Angeles. Schrader has yet to complete a pass. Has a man open. It's Galt. Broken up nicely by Brian Davis.
Told you we'd get to 0 for 16 pretty soon.
Gossett on the fake punt and dropped. Stephon Adams had the ball right there. Gossett, who was a quarterback in college, threw a nice pass, but it was dropped.
With the Chicago blitz, did a good job for it.
First down, Redskins. Biner can't hold on. 2nd down and 10. Redskins set up the screen. There's a flag down, but Biner has room. Across midfield to the 47-yard line. Rippon's got pressure from the outside. Decides to scramble and fumbles the ball, and Washington gets it back. Here we go.
This is a rugby scrum. This ball's just going to keep moving down the field.
Well, Simmons came over and just clocked Tom Benson. But that was a legal hit, I believe.
It's again good pressure up front by the Raiders defensive line. Forces Rippon to run up in the pocket and then try to run out of the pocket. And Bill Pickell is really the guy that causes it because he reaches in and just slaps the ball away. Donnie Warren thinks that he's recovered the ball.
Number 63 on the offense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Raiders show man coverage. Rippon steps up in the pocket, goes for Clark's got the completion at the 45-yard line. Joe Jacoby, the former right tackle who's playing on the left side now, is called for holding. Jacoby down from 330 pounds to 310. Look at that.
130 yards and penalties, and that's way too many. When you add that with the turnovers, you're probably looking at taking away maybe about 200 to 250 yards of offense away from your club.
It brings up 3rd down and 30. Rippon to Clark. Clark pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line by Zeph Lee.
He's on the sideline.
4th down and 6 for the Redskins. Rippon's in trouble. He's sacked and he fumbles. Greg Towson made the hit and knocked it loose.
And really what has to happen with Rippon is when he starts running with the ball or pulls up in that pocket, he's got to tuck the ball away because he's just losing the ball too much when he gets sacked. Now watch Townsend. He's going to be coming from up on the top side of your, on the right side of your screen, comes around the block there, chases Rippon out of the pocket. Right there just knocks that ball out. Now one of the things that he's doing is he's coming deep in order to make these sacks. So that means that your quarterback's got to step up inside, and if he decides to run, tuck that ball in and get out of there.
That's the 5th sack on Rippon today. He's been sacked 12 times this year, and he's fumbled 10 times. First down at the 37. Ball's loose, and the Redskins get it back. Steve Smith never had the handle on it. Manuski makes the recovery. We're trying to keep you updated on that Philadelphia-Denver score because if Philadelphia wins, that does help the Raiders, who trailed Denver by 3 and still very much alive for a wild card. Humphries in at quarterback, tucks this one away and carries it up near midfield. He'll be a yard short of the first down. Tackle made by Terry McDaniel. Humphries was in the ball game earlier, threw an interception. Rippon has thrown 3. Humphries with time throws this completion. There's another flag. It's Flag Day in Los Angeles, and Sanders carries it down to the 44. Under Art Shell, the new coach. First down for Humphries. Backside pressure, and he's sacked. Again, it's Howie Long.
Talk so much, Tim, about how those Raider linemen are running these games up in front. And that time they ran another game with Long coming around. Now, watch the games being run up here, the twist, that's what we call them. And Howie Long simply comes around and chases the quarterback around the backside of the play and makes the sack. You see him run up front, both sides now running these twists. Here comes Long around on that right offensive side and simply runs down Stan Humphries. But that's what they're doing. They're getting a good pass rush with only 4 guys, the 4 defensive linemen rushing the ball instead of sending linebackers.
A loss of 5, 2nd and 15, and the Raiders come flying across the line of scrimmage.
Let's see if Howie can blame it on somebody again. Let's see if he's going to point.
Encroachment, number 75 on the defense, still 2nd down.
He didn't get away with that one, Howie.
2nd down and 10. Humphries. And Clark can't hold on. He was open and couldn't hold on to the ball. 15 yards, 1 interception. 3rd and 10. Humphries is going deep to Clark. And it's incomplete.
And it appeared that Clark stepped out of bounds, but I think there may be pass interference on the play too, though, because the officials down there saw a little contact down about the 10-yard line. But let's wait and see what the call is.
They ruled it incomplete. They said he went out and came back in. We'll wait for the call from Red Cashin.
Receiver went out of bounds. The penalty is loss of a down. 4th down.
8:23 remaining in the ball game. It's 4th down and 10, and Washington obviously is going for it. Rippon now drops the ball. I'm sorry, correction, Humphries, and he gets it back. I don't want to be cruel, but the ball was knocked loose, and I immediately thought of Rippon.
Well, I think that you might have to give number 93, Townsend, 2 sacks on that play because he sacked him the first time, stripped the ball, and then he came back and with the help of Bill Pickell got another sack on the play. So maybe he did a double dip there.
At the 46-yard line. Bo Jackson cuts against the grain, breaks the tackle, and is tripped up finally at the 45-yard line by Alvin Walton.
You know, one of the things I'm kind of surprised at, quite honestly, from the Raiders standpoint, is that they don't have their other people in the game again, and just letting them get some game time experience, because certainly they've got things well in hand, and now's an opportunity to give your second and third team people an opportunity to get in the game.
How prophetic it was by Joe Gibbs yesterday as we sat and chatted with him that he says, you know, Bo Jackson hadn't hit his stride yet, but he'll probably hit it tomorrow against us. And he has. Second down and 1 at the 45. Jackson is gone. Say so long to Bo Jackson, but there is a flag. 6th penalty for Los Angeles today. 17 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown for Bo Jackson. 37-17 Raiders. Second down and 11. Schrader is sacked by Raven Caldwell. Tries to melt as much of the play clock as he can. It's down to 5. He snaps it at 2, and here comes Poe again. To the 46-yard line. Boy, he is special, isn't he?
He really is. You know, the thing that I think he brings to the backfield of the Raiders is that explosion, that one guy you always need that can take it the distance on any given play.
He was held to 79 yards on 20 carries last week by the Eagles, but he came in here today and has just exploded. You know, and watching a guy like George Brett, who was in the booth with us before, here's a great athlete, great baseball player, Brett, and yet when he talks about Bo Jackson, he does it with such admiration, almost like he's a fan of Bo's, as so many people are. Second down and 6 at the 46. This is Bo. Has the first down and goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Bo Jackson. And again, the band strikes up Bo Diddley.
You know, it's interesting to watch this Raider club, though, you know, having dropped down into despair over the last couple of years, to see them coming back now with a new approach and a new attitude. And certainly it was very, you could taste that increasing in that desire to win when we came in here talking to players. They tell us how excited they were to get back into this thing now that Art Shell's their head coach. Of course, those guys on the sideline don't look too excited. They're just kind of taking it easy. That's the defense.
Bo got a kick out of them playing Bo Diddley. You saw him laughing. Vance Bueller breaks the tackle and carries it down to the 35. This is just a good old-fashioned licking by the Raiders. What a job he's done. Art Shell came in here and took a bad situation and made it good.
We talked at length to Art too about what he felt made him a good individual and a good coach, and he talked about his family upbringing and how difficult times were, but Dad always provided for him in a good family situation, and he felt that those values really helped him along as he became a professional and now a head coach in the National Football League. That
Philadelphia final helps the Raiders now. They trailed Denver by only 2 games. Only John Madden's gotten off to a better start with the Raiders. He was 3-0. This is Vance Bueller, tackled by Dexter Manley. And I think it's interesting that Art Shell has yet to negotiate a new contract with Al Davis.
Well, when Al made him the head coach, he made it specifically said that, you know, Art, there's no pressure on you. I guess not because he hadn't given him the new deal. But he said there's no pressure on you. You just come in. I want you to get this team back on square and back on center. And certainly Art has done that.
Said one of the first calls he got was from John Madden. Man, he has tremendous respect for him. It's 3rd down and 9 at the 38-yard line. Schrader in trouble again. Has the completion, his first of the game, and it's to Smith.
Boy, there you go. You're ready to pop that up there. 0 for 8, huh? Now you can say Jay Schrader's padding his stats.
This is a club without Marcus Allen and without that guy, Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame.
Talked with him down on the playing field earlier today, and he said, I said, you know, I'm not used to looking at the Raiders without you and Marcus Allen being out there. So there goes half your material when you guys leave the field, and he can't wait to get back in there, though, and get active. But he's still limping a great deal from the knee injury that he got.
Clock down to 3:37 mercifully. 4th down and 7 to 36. Gossett tries to pooch this one, puts it up high. It'll hit at the 4. There's a flag down, and it's a touchback.
And they said when he grew up and went into the pros and he found himself doing it and he got caught, he says, now I realize how very wrong it was.
Humphries on 1st down and 5, finds his tight end, Donnie Warren. Out to the 47-yard line. It'll be 1st down Redskins there. The tackle made by Tom Benson, a gain of 22.
And to get back to Townsend, they said, you know, when you're in it, you don't realize the impact that you have sometimes on young people watching you. He says now with his children, he realizes now the impact he's got as a grown man.
Humphries throws incomplete in the direction of Ernest Biner. Incomplete. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent. 2nd down and 10 for Humphries. Jimmy Johnson inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Johnson, the rookie out of Howard, is finally tackled by Mike Haynes.
Humphries got his offense in that hurry-up mode. They are taking a little bit too much time getting downfield, though. I suspect that they should have been lined up already.
A gain of 34. Humphries goes for the corner to Monk. Incomplete.
In the 2nd place and start looking at those wild card implications later on in the season. These games will be very important.
2nd and 10. Humphries to Sanders. Touchdown. Again, Sanders was working on Zeph Lee. And Humphries threw a strike.
Said that Zeph Lee had a bad day at the freeway. Watch right in the middle of your screen. Ricky Sanders is going to beat him right to the post and get the touchdown. You see Stan Humphries places that ball out nicely. See how he fades it back there a little bit to let the receiver run back and get underneath of it. Zeph Lee just cannot cover Ricky Sanders. Zeph Lee might want to move back to offense.
That's the 12th catch of the afternoon for Sanders. 15-yard touchdown. Chip Lowmiller comes on for the extra point. The extra point is good. 37-24 Raiders with 1:54 remaining. And you see Doug Williams on the sideline there. He started throwing this week at Redskin Park.
I talked to him earlier before the game. He said, you know, the back felt pretty good, no pain at all. And he's going to take things a little slow and be careful with it. But I suspect that he may be pressing the service a little bit quicker than first intended.
Mueller sidesteps a tackler and dances out to the 44. Joe Gibbs was saying that because Rippon was forced in there a little bit early, people don't realize that it takes several years to develop a good NFL quarterback. Hey, you know, one of my pleasures in Washington is getting up and taking the kids to school in the morning and listening to the Mark Rippon report. He's on with the Morning Zoo guys in the morning, and Rip sings.
Yeah, he told us about it. He's very proud of the fact that he sings. I understand he doesn't sing that well, though.
That guy's leaving. Schrader throws. Incomplete, and another flag. So what's new? Vance Mueller stopped immediately by Mike Stensrud. Friends of yours?
I won't touch that one.
2nd down and 10, Los Angeles. And they'll just run the clock play. Washington can't stop it anymore. So Washington will go to 4-4, and the Raiders will up theirs from 3-4 to 4-4. Under a minute to play. This game has taken 3 hours and 50 minutes, and I believe that's the longest of the year.
I hope so.
3rd down and 15 at the 37. And that should be the last play of the game. They can't stop it. It's over. You have to feel for that guy. He is frustrated, and that guy is exultant. He's won 3 of his 4 games as head coach of the Raiders. He's given them new life. He's brought back the old tradition. And they're playing with new spirit.
And I asked him about his assistant coaches and whether or not any of them were moving on. He said he talked to all of them and gave them an opportunity if they wanted, if they felt uncomfortable with the situation to go. And they agreed to stay and say, hey, look, we think we can work this thing out. And certainly they have here with the Los Angeles Raiders.